If you think your neighborhood is wild, wait until you hear how my grandfather got treated like an international drug lord thanks to one HOA Karen with infinite free time and zero functioning neurons. This whole circus began with a false accusation, a dropped bottle of herbal tea, and something shocking Customs uncovered. Except it wasn't in my grandfather's luggage at all. It was the one thing Karen herself had stashed. And the second it appeared on the scanner, the entire airport froze like someone unplugged reality. It kicked off early morning outside my grandfather's house. He locked the door, suitcase in hand, travel hat on, ready for his first vacation in a decade. Then she materialized. Karen, in her HOA vest, massive sunglasses, and the posture of someone who claimed ownership of the sidewalk. She blocked his path like he was sneaking into a secure bunker. "Sir, I observed you carrying suspicious medicine last night," she said, clutching her clipboard like a badge. "As an HOA representative, I'm obligated to report it." My grandfather blinked. "Ma'am, it's herbal stomach-soothing tea. I'm old. Digestive events occur." But Karen snatched the little bottle like it was hazardous waste. She squinted. "This seems illegal." I Googled it. Google says strange liquids might be used for chemical operations. Grandpa sighed. "Karen, Google also says 3 almonds can cure sadness. Please sit down." That line hit her harder than a router crashing mid-Netflix. She gasped like he smacked the HOA spirit right out of her. Without speaking, she spun around, hit speed dial, and started screeching like a malfunctioning alarm clock. Within minutes, she filed an official complaint. Yes, a real one, accusing my grandfather of trafficking illegal medication and endangering the community. By the time he reached the airport, his name was flagged like he was some cartoon supervillain. He walked into TSA expecting the usual routine. Shoes off, belt off, laptop out. Instead, officers looked at him as though he'd hidden a bazooka in his carry-on. "Sir, step aside, please." Grandpa grinned. "Oh, VIP treatment?" "No." "Sir, the officer said secondary screening." They moved him to another lane. People stared. A kid whispered, "Mom, is he a spy?" Grandpa gave a salute just for fun, and the mom nearly collapsed. Customs spread out his belongings, socks, shirts, denture cleaner, travel snacks, all boring. Then they raised a tiny herbal bottle, like it was a stolen prototype. The officer asked, "Sir, what's this?" Grandpa replied proudly, "Gasatral. Helps prevent internal explosions." The officer's face twitched. "Sir, Karen filed a report saying you carried contraband." Grandpa groaned. Karen can't even spell contraband. But rules were rules. They scanned his bag, empty. Scanned the bottle, legal. Scanned his shoes, clean. They scanned so much that Grandpa finally said, "Want to scan my soul, too?" Not much in there. One officer laughed, but then everything flipped. A supervisor approached, holding a tablet, showing a bag scan. Who owns this?" Everyone leaned in. The object inside that suitcase was definitely not Grandpa's. It was a hidden pouch of pills. Bright neon pink glittery pills. Extremely illegal looking. Suspicious enough to make anyone squint. And absolutely not something an 80-year-old carried, unless he ran a nightclub on weekends. The supervisor frowned. "This bag is tagged to the same HOA report." Grandpa raised a brow. "Same HOA report? The lady with the helmet hair?" The supervisor checked. "Yes, the complainant, Karen Miller." Grandpa laughed so hard he had to support his back. Well. Seems Karen was too busy policing others to notice what she stuffed in her own luggage. Customs connected it instantly. The bag wasn't Grandpa's. It was Karen's, checked in earlier for her own mysterious trip. And those pills? Definitely not herbal tea. Officers traded glances. Grandpa folded his arms while Karen was still somewhere in the terminal, marching toward her gate completely unaware that her mighty HOA crusade was about to blow up so spectacularly it could probably be seen from orbit. Grandpa was still chuckling when Customs radioed for backup. Meanwhile, Karen strutted toward boarding like she was the airport CEO. You could practically hear dramatic theme music playing inside her head. She had no clue her suitcase, currently parked in the Customs room, was revealing secrets she never wanted daylight to find. Grandpa leaned toward an officer. You might want ear protection when she figures it out. Her scream could shatter glass. The officer smirked but stayed formal. Sir, please remain here while we confirm her identity. Oh, no need, Grandpa said. You'll recognize her the second she opens her mouth. 2 agents approached Karen near the gate. She instantly assumed they were there to thank her for public service. She flicked her hair and said, Don't worry. I already neutralized the threat. You're welcome. One agent said, Ma'am, we need you to come with us. Karen blinked. With you? Absolutely. You must want a statement from a responsible citizen. She turned to passengers and announced, Everyone stay calm. Justice is happening. Nobody cared. One guy snored. A teenager didn't even pause her music. But Karen followed the agents as if she were being escorted to accept a national medal. Back in the customs office, Grandpa watched her enter. She stepped through the door, spotted him sipping airport coffee, and her face twisted like she'd inhaled expired broccoli. Karen snapped. Why is he here? Did you arrest him yet? I told you, criminal, shady, dangerous. Probably foreign. Grandpa looked at her. Karen, I'm more American than the cholesterol clogging her arteries. An officer cleared his throat. Ma'am, we discovered something in a piece of luggage connected to your report. Karen's chest lifted proudly. Good. Confiscate whatever he smuggled. I knew it. I'm basically a hero. The agent slowly raised a pouch of neon pink, glitter-filled pills. Karen froze. Her jaw dropped just enough to whistle. The agent asked, Ma'am, can you explain these? Karen blinked 3 times. Those aren't mine. Grandpa leaned forward. Then why does the name tag say Karen Miller in big bold letters? Even the pills look offended. Karen stuttered. That has to be a different Karen Miller. The agent replied, Your passport number is attached to the baggage receipt. Karen's soul visibly took a short vacation. Grandpa slurped his coffee loudly. Karen, stick to mailbox complaints. International crime isn't your field. Karen scrambled for excuses. It's planted. It's wrong. I'm being targeted by jealous neighbors. An officer lifted a brow. Ma'am, are you jealous of yourself? Because it's your luggage. She gasped and jabbed a finger at Grandpa. He did it. He sabotaged my suitcase after I exposed his illegal medicine. Grandpa clapped once. Lady, I drink herbal tea. Herbal? The worst thing I do is park a little crooked. The room went silent. Then the supervisor hit a button, and security footage appeared on the monitor. There was Karen crystal clear at the check-in counter that morning, dragging her suitcase, unzipping a pouch, pulling out the exact glittery pill bottle, and tucking it into her bag. Karen made the most embarrassing sound ever produced by a human, somewhere between a hiccup, a shriek, and a dying seagull. Grandpa whispered, Honestly, the pills weren't the scariest thing in that bag. An officer tried to hold in a laugh and failed. 2 more agents entered to escort Karen for questioning. She panicked. This is a misunderstanding. I'm with the HOA. I have authority. Grandpa said, Sweetheart, HOA authority stops at your cul-de-sac. This is the real world. Karen tried to flee. She got 3 steps before slipping on the polished floor, sliding like a broken shopping cart. Officers grabbed her before she could scuttle under a bench like a confused crab. Grandpa stood, checked his pockets, and picked up his suitcase. So, does this mean I'm cleared for my flight now? He asked. The supervisor nodded. Yes, sir. You're cleared, and we sincerely apologize. Grandpa let out a laugh. No need. That was the most fun I've had in ages. As he strolled toward his gate, travelers who'd witnessed the spectacle gave him subtle nods of admiration. Someone even murmured, Absolute legend. But Grandpa didn't realize one tiny detail. Karen wasn't finished. Even as officers dragged her off, she shrieked, This isn't over. I'll make it right. And unbelievably, she meant it. What she did next made the earlier chaos look like a warm-up act. Grandpa figured the whole circus had ended. All he wanted was to board his plane, enjoy his sad little bag of pretzels, and escape to a vacation far, far from HOA nonsense. But in a security room somewhere, Karen was scheming like a caffeine-fueled cartoon villain. Apparently, being filmed sneaking glittery mystery pills through TSA wasn't enough to stop her campaign of misery. Grandpa reached his gate and sat beside a man who looked like he hadn't slept since 2012. Adjusting his hat, stretching his legs, he finally relaxed. But just as boarding began, a panting TSA agent rushed up. "Sir, we have a situation." Grandpa shut his eyes. "Let me guess. Does it involve a woman with a haircut that screams, 'I want to speak to the manager'?" The agent nodded. "Yes, sir." Grandpa groaned. "Of course." Across the terminal, Karen had somehow convinced a rookie security officer, who couldn't have been more than 20, that she was on a top-secret operation, and Grandpa was part of some elderly crime syndicate. She claimed he had accomplices, coded signals, and potentially explosive herbal supplements. The poor kid looked overwhelmed, but Karen's rapid-fire ranting sucked him straight into the whirlwind of nonsense. Karen marched toward the boarding zone with the young officer trailing behind, clutching a clipboard like a defensive shield. She jabbed her finger toward Grandpa. There he is, the mastermind, the leader, the threat. Grandpa eyed the kid. "Son, blink twice if she dragged you into this." The officer blinked like a broken printer. Karen launched into her finale. "Officer, check his bag again. He's concealing something. I can sense it." Grandpa mumbled. "Yeah, that feeling is called paranoia." But Karen didn't stop there. She dove into her purse, a fatal decision, and yanked out a folded paper, waving it like a top-secret dossier. "I gathered evidence," she declared dramatically. The officer unfolded it. "Ma'am, this is a grocery list." Karen snatched it. "Wrong one." She dug deeper, tossing aside receipts, dead coupons, 3 tubes of lipstick, and enough loose coins to fund lunch. Finally, she pulled out a wrinkled slip and shoved it forward. "This is the evidence." Grandpa squinted. "Karen, that's the parking ticket you got for blocking my driveway," she hissed. "It proves your criminal tendencies." The officer stared at her, then Grandpa, then her again, and slowly realized she was crafted entirely from delusion. "Ma'am, none of this qualifies as evidence." Karen doubled down. "Search him. He endangers society." Grandpa rose to his feet. "Sweetheart, the only thing I endanger is an all-you-can-eat buffet." The officer hesitated, torn between avoiding Karen's screeching and sparing Grandpa from another pointless search. Before he could choose, Karen lunged at Grandpa's suitcase like a raccoon going after leftovers. Grandpa whisked aside, and Karen stumbled forward, grabbing the boarding counter and accidentally slamming her purse onto the security conveyor belt. The machine beeped. Heads turned. Karen froze. Grandpa whispered, "Oh, boy, round 2. The scanner operator frowned. "Ma'am, your purse is now undergoing official federal search. You understand that, right?" Karen tried to snatch it back, but the belt dragged it in as if fate itself wanted more chaos. Silence fell. Then the screen lit up with shapes. Many shapes. Shapes no HOA president should ever possess. Inside her purse were another pouch of glittery pills, a metal tube labeled confiscated property, a pair of bolt cutters, and, of course, a mini stun gun. Grandpa cackled, so hard he nearly toppled over. "Karen, you're not running an HOA. You're assembling a starter kit for a supervillain." Karen panicked. "Those aren't mine either." The officer pointed at the engraved words on the stun gun. "Property of K. Miller." Karen swallowed. That stands for Katie Miller. My cousin, twice removed." Grandpa shook his head. "Lady, even your excuses are trying to escape." The situation exploded. More TSA agents swarmed in. A supervisor arrived. Passengers backed up to film, because nothing thrills an airport crowd more than drama they're not involved in. Someone went live on social media. A meltdown star was about to be born. The supervisor spoke evenly. "Ma'am, you are being detained for possession of prohibited items, filing false reports, disrupting security procedures, and attempting to interfere with airport operations." Karen shrieked. "You can't do this. I'm HOA president. I have authority." Grandpa sighed. "Karen, HOA authority is about as real as your eyebrows. Officers escorted her away, this time with zero opportunity to bolt. She ranted about conspiracies, bylaws, global sabotage, and bringing justice to the elderly. Grandpa waved like she was boarding cruise. Have a lovely trip, Karen. I hear jail food is gluten-free. Passengers applauded. TSA agents clapped. A janitor even flashed Grandpa a thumbs up. Minutes later, the gate agent smiled. Sir, on behalf of the entire airport, we'd like to upgrade you to first class. Grandpa tipped his hat. Finally, someone who respects senior citizens. He boarded peacefully at last, stretched out in his roomier seat and muttered, Next year, I'm vacationing somewhere HOA-free. And the best part? Karen couldn't protest, because for once in her life, she wasn't slipping out of consequences. If you like this tale, hit that subscribe button. Every subscriber encourages me to bring you more wild, chaotic HOA stories. Don't forget to tap the bell so you never miss an upload. I'll see you in the next story where justice gets even sweeter.